Very well. I know who did it.
You do?
And furthermore, I'm going to tell you how it was all done. Follow me. In order to help you understand what happened, I shall need to take you through the events of the evening step by step. At the start of the evening, Yvette was here by herself, waiting to offer you all a glass of champagne. I was in the hall. I know because I was there. Then I hurried across to the kitchen. And the cook was in here, alive, sharpening knives, preparing for dinner. And then the doorbell rang. And it was you. Yes? I asked you for your coat, and I recognized you as Colonel Mustard, and I prevented you from telling me your real name, because I didn't want any of you to use any name other than your pseudonym, and I introduced myself to you as the butler, and I ran across the hall to the library. And then Yvette met you, and smiled, and poured you a drink. And the doorbell rang, and it was Mrs. White looking pale and tragic, and I took her coat and hung it up. And I introduced Mrs. White to Colonel Mustard. Hello, hello. And I noticed that Mrs. White and Yvette flinched. Then there was a rumble of thunder and a crash of lightning. And to make a long story short, one by one you all arrived. And then the door was shut by the cook. And we went into the dining room. And Mrs. Peacock sat here, and Professor Plum sat here, and Mrs. White sat here, and Mr. Green, Miss Scarlet, Colonel Mustard. This chair was vacant. Anyway, we all revealed we'd all received a letter, and you'd had a letter, and you'd had a letter, and you'd had a letter. Yeah! Blackmail.
All this came out after dinner in the study.
You're right. What? Mr. Green stood here, and Mr. Peacock here, and Miss Scarlet here, and Professor Plum here, and Colonel Mustard, and Mrs. White. I'm getting there. And Mr. Boddy went to get surprise packages from the hall. And you all opened your presents. Mr. Boddy switched out the lights.
Get your hand off my ass!
Oh, grand.
Mr. Boddy lay on the floor, apparently dead. He was dead, I examined him. Then why was he bashed on the head of human estate with a candlestick if he was dead already?
All right, I made a mistake.
Right. But if so, why was Mr. Boddy pretending to be dead? It could only be because he realized that his scheme had misfired, and the gunshot was intended to kill him, not me. Look, the bullet grazed his ear. Clearly his best hope of escaping death was to pretend to be dead already.
So whoever grabbed the gun from me in the dark was trying to kill him.
But remember what happened next. Mrs. Peacock took a drink. You said, maybe it's poisoned. She screamed. Mrs. Green. What? I had to stop her screaming. There's more screaming. Yvette, the billiard room. We all rushed up. But one of us wasn't here. No. Maybe one of us was murdering the cook. Who wasn't here with us?
Do you know?
I do. While we stood here, trying to stop Yvette from panicking, one of us could have stayed in the study, picked up the dagger, run down the hall, and stabbed the cook.
Oh, how could he risk it? We might have seen him running back.
Not if they used this secret passage. And the murderer ran back down the secret passage to the study.
No, never comes out?
What? How did you know? This house belongs to a friend of mine I've known all along.
So you could be the murderer.
Don't be ridiculous. If I was the murderer, why would I reveal to you how I did it?
Well, who else knew about the secret passage?
We found it. Colonel Mustard and me.
You found it. You could have known about it all the time.
But I didn't. So why should we believe you?
Because she was with us all in the billiard room doorway while Yvette was screaming. Don't you remember?
But what I don't understand is why was the cook murdered? She had nothing to do with Mr. Boddy.
Of course she did. I gathered you all here together because you were all implicated in Mr. Boddy's dastardly blackmail. Did none of you deduce that the others were involved too?
What?
The cook and Yvette?
No.
That's how he got all his information. Before he could blackmail anyone, Mr. Boddy had to discover their guilty secret. The cook and Yvette were his accomplices. See? So, whoever knew that the cook was involved killed her? Yes. I know, because I was Mr. Boddy's butler, that the cook had worked for one of you.
Who?
You recognized Yvette, didn't you? Don't deny it.
What do you mean, don't
deny it. I'm not denying anything.
Another denial.
Oh, that's true. I knew Yvette. My husband had an affair with her, but I didn't care. I wasn't jealous.
You knew Yvette too, didn't you?
Yes, she worked for me.
And you also knew her, sir. We've already established that you were one of Miss Scarlet's clients. That's why you were so desperate to get your hands on those negatives. Photographs of you and Yvette in flagrante delicto, remember?
Mr. Boddy threatened to send those pictures to my dear old mother. The shot would have killed her.
Oh, that would have been quite an achievement since you told us that she's dead already. Oh, so he had the motive.
You all had a motive.
But where and when was Mr. Boddy killed?
Don't you see? Look, we came back from the study with Yvette. Mr. Boddy was on the floor, pretending to be dead. But one of us knows he's alive. So, I explained that I was Mr. Boddy's butler and I invited you here, and we realized there was only one other person in the house.
Well, where is he?
By now, she was dead. We laid her down with our backs to the freezer. One of us slipped through the same secret passage.
Again?
Of course, back to the study. The murderer was in the secret passage. Meanwhile, Mr. Boddy was on the floor. He jumped up. The murderer came out of the secret panel, picked up the candlestick. Mr. Boddy followed us out of the study into the hall looking for an escape. The murderer crept down behind him and killed him. Will you stop that? No. Then he threw it into the toilet. I'm nonchalantly rejoined inside the cook's body in the kitchen. It took less than half a minute.
So who wasn't there the entire time in the kitchen? Whoever it was is the murderer. And we put the weapon in the cupboard, locked it, and ran to the front door. And threw away the key.
Motorist. I didn't throw the key away. I put it in my pocket, and someone was taking it out of my pocket and substituted another.
We were all in a huddle. Any one of us could have done that.
Precisely.
Wait a minute. Colonel Mustard has a top-secret Pentagon job. Mrs. White's husband was a nuclear physicist, and Yvette is a link between them.
What is your top secret job, Colonel?
I can tell you. He's working on the secret of the next fusion bomb.
How did you know that?
Can you keep a secret?
Yes.
So can I.
Is the plot between them Wadsworth, or did Colonel Mustard do it alone?
We shall see. Let's look at the other murders.
Yes. Bad luck that that motorist arrived at that moment.
It wasn't luck. I invited him.
You did?
Of course, it's obvious. Everyone here tonight was either Mr. Boddy's victim or accomplice. Everyone who has died gave him vital information about one of you. I got them here so they give evidence against him and force him to confess.
Yeah? What about that motorist? What kind of information did he have?
He was my driver during the war.
And what was he holding over you?
He knew that I was a war profiteer. I stole essential Air Force radio parts, and I sold them on the black market. That is how I made all my money. That does not make me a murderer.
Well, none of our airmen died because their radios didn't work. Was the policeman working for Mr. Boddy, too?
The cop was from Washington. He was on my payroll. I bribed him once a week so I could carry on with business. Mr. Boddy found out somehow.
Oh, my God.
Oh, please.
And the singing telegram girl?
She was my patient at once. I had an affair with her. That's how I lost my license. Mr. Boddy found that out, too.
Well, let's put it in the study with the others. So, now you all know why they died. Whoever killed Mr. Boddy also wanted his accomplices dead.
How did the murderer know about them all? I mean, I admit that I had guessed that this young senior informed on me to Mr. Boddy. But I didn't know anything about any of you until this evening.
First, the murderer needed to get the weapons. Easy. He stole the key from my pocket. And then we all followed Colonel Mustard's suggestion that we split up and search the house.
That's right. It was Colonel Mustard's suggestion.
And one of us got away from his or her partner and hurried to the study. On the desk was the envelope from Mr. Boddy. It contained photographs and letters. The evidence of Mr. Boddy's network of informants.
Where is the envelope now?
Gone. Destroyed. Perhaps in the fire. The only possible place. Aha! Then, having found out the whole story, the murderer went to the cupboard, unlocked it with the key, took out the wrench.
Then we found the secret passage from the conservatory to the lounge, where we found the motorist dead.
That's right! And you couldn't get in. So they went back to the open cupboard, got the gun, and shot the door open. Bang! And then the doorbell rang.
Oh, whoever it is, they gotta go away or they'll be killed.
Oh. Good evening. Have you ever given any thought to the kingdom of heaven?
What?
And the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
You ain't just whistling Dixie.
Armageddon is almost upon us.
I got news for you, it's already here.
Go away.
But your souls are in danger.
Our lives are in danger, you beatnik.
All right, next. We locked him in the library. We forgot to tell him that the weapons were now unlocked, then we split up again. And the murderer switched off the electricity. Oh my God.
Turn on the light.
Sorry, didn't mean to frighten you.
You're a bit late for that.
Everybody does. Then there were 3 more murders.
So which of us killed them?
None of us killed Mr. Boddy or the cook.
So who did?
The one person who wasn't with us. Yvette. Yvette! She was in the billiard room listening to our conversation. She heard the gunshot. She thought he was dead. And while we all examined the bullet hole, she crept into the study, picked up the dagger, ran to the kitchen, and stabbed the cook. We didn't hear the cook scream, because Mrs. Peacock was screaming about the poisoned brandy. Then Yvette returned to the billiard room. She screamed, and we all ran to her. But when did she kill Mr. Boddy? When I said. We all ran to the kitchen to see the cook. Yvette hid in the study to check that Mr. Boddy was dead. He got up and followed them down the hall, so she hit him on the head with a candlestick and dragged him to the toilet.
Why?
To create confusion.
It worked.
Why did she do it? Was it because she was acting under orders from the person who later killed her? Who?
Who?
Was it one of her clients? Or was it a jealous wife? Or an adulterous doctor? No. It was her employer, Miss Scarlet.
That's a lie.
Is it? You used her the way you always used her. You killed the motorist when we split up to search the house.
How could I have known about the secret passage?
Easy. Yvette told you. So when we split up again, you switched off the electricity. It was easy for you here on the ground floor. Then, in the dark, you got the lead pipe and the rope, strangled Yvette, ran to the library, killed the cop, picked up the gun where Yvette dropped it, opened the front door, recognized the singing telegram from her photograph, and shot her.
You've no sense.
The gun is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Ladies, empty your purses. Whoever has the gun is the murderer.
Brilliantly worked out, Wadsworth. I congratulate you.
Me too.
Shut up!
Now, there's one thing I don't understand.
One thing?
Why did you do it? Half of Washington knows what kind of business you run. You were in no real danger. The whole town would be implicated if you were exposed.
I don't think they know my real business. Huh. My business is secrets. And Yvette found them out for me. The secrets of Senator Peacock's Defense Committee, of Colonel Mustard's fusion bomb, Professor Plum's UN contacts, and the work of your husband, the nuclear physicist.
So, it is political. You're a communist.
No, Mr. Green. Communism is just a red herring. Like all members of the oldest profession, I'm a capitalist. And I'm going to sell my secrets, your secrets, to the highest bidder.
What if we don't cooperate?
You will, or I'll expose you.
We could expose you. 6 murders?
I hardly think it will enhance your reputation at the UN, Professor Plum, if it's revealed that you have been implicated not only in adultery with one of your patients, but in her death, and the deaths of 5 other people.
You don't know what kind of people they have at the UN. I might go up with their estimation.
It's no good blackmailing me, madam. I have no more money.
And
Nor
neither
do
do I.
I know, sweetie pie, but you can pay me in government information. All of you. Except you, Wadsworth. You, as a mere butler, have no access to government secrets. So, I'm afraid your moment has come.
Not so fast, Miss Scarlet. I do have a secret or two.
Oh, yeah, such as...
The game's up, Scarlet. There are no more bullets left in that gun.
Come on, you're not going to fall for that old trick.
It's not a trick. There was one shot of Mr. Boddy in the study, 2 for the chandelier, 2 at the lounge door, and 1 for the singing telegram.
That's not 6.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
There was only one shot that got the chandelier. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Even if you were right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Okay, fine. 1 plus 2 plus 1. Shut up! Point is, there's 1 bullet left in this gun, and guess who's going to get it? Oh! Ah!
Where's the chief? Wadsworth, well done.
I did warn you, my dear. Mr. Hoover is an expert on Armageddon.
Wadsworth, don't hit me for trying to shoot you.
Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see? 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 2 plus 1 is... Get it up. A murder right across the hall to the stand. Take up the rope and a lead pipe. Round to the billiard room. Strangle Yvette. Ran into the library. Hit the top of the head with a lead pipe. There, coming out of the library, the doorbell rang. It was a singing telegram. The murderer picked up the gun where Yvette dropped it, ran to the door, recognized the girl from her photograph, shot her, and ran back to the cellar. The cellar! Yes.
But Colonel Mustard wasn't in the cellar.
No. But you were.
So,
You murdered them all. You were the person who was missing when the cook and Mr. Boddy were murdered. And the cook used to be your cook. Don't you remember your fatal mistake? You told us at dinner that we were eating one of your favorite recipes. And monkey's brains, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C.
Is that what we ate?
Bob and I murdered all the others.
Obviously, in case Mr. Boddy had told them about you.
So it was all nothing to do with the disappearing nuclear physicist and Colonel Mustard's work on the new fusion bomb.
No, communism was just a red herring. Mrs. Peacock did it all.
There's no proof.
Well, the gun is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Ladies, empty your purses. Whoever has the gun is the murderer.
Very well. What are you supposed to do about it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. I don't approve of murder, but it seems to me you've done the world a public service by ridding it of an appalling blackmailer and his disgusting informers.
But the police will be here any minute. What happens then?
Why should the police come? Nobody's called them.
You mean?
That's right. Now, I suggest that we stack the bodies in the cellar, lock it, leave quietly one at a time, and pretend that none of this has ever happened.
Great idea. I'll leave first, if you don't mind.
Be my guest. In fact, I think we all owe you a vote of thanks. For she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny. For she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow. I told you I didn't do it. But what if the authorities find out what happened? The FBI will take care of that. You mean my phone call from Mr. Hoover? I work for him, of course. How else could I have known everything about you all? There's still one thing I don't understand.
One thing?
Who was Mrs. Peacock taking bribes from? A foreign power. Her husband, the senator, has influence over defense contracts. Is there going to be a cover-up? Isn't that in the public interest? What could be gained by exposure?
But is the FBI in the habit of cleaning up after multiple murder?
Yes. Why do you think it's run by a man called Hoover? Oh, Mrs. Peacock.
How did you know my name?
The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Okay, take her away.
Take your hands off me! I'm the senator's wife!
Wadsworth, we are.
Like the Mounties, we always get our man.
Mrs. Peacock was a man?
Would anyone care for fruit or dessert?
Sorry, didn't mean to frighten anyone.
You're a bit late for that!
Then there were 3 more murders.
So who cares?
Let's consider each murder one by one. Professor Plum, you knew that Mr. Boddy was still alive. Even psychiatrists can tell the difference between patients who are alive or dead. You fired the guns in the dark and missed, so you pretended he was dead. That's how you were able to kill him later, unobserved.
That's right. He was the missing person in the kitchen after we found the cook dead.
But he was with us in the billiard room when we found Yvette screaming. If that's when the cook was killed, how did he do it?
I didn't.
But you don't expect us to believe that, do you?
I expect you to believe it. You killed the cook. She used to be your cook, and she informed on you to Mr. Boddy. You made one fatal mistake. Sitting here at dinner, Mrs. Peacock told us that she was eating one of her favorite recipes. And monkey's brains, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C. Colonel Mustard, when we saw the motorist at the front door, you took the key to the weapons cupboard out of my pocket. Then you suggested that we all split up. You separated from Miss Scarlet, crossed the hall, opened the cupboard, took the wrench, ran to the conservatory, entered the lounge through the secret passage, killed the motorist with a blow on the head. Like that!
This is incredible.
Not so incredible as what happened next. After we all split up again, I went upstairs with you. Yes, you, Mrs. White. And while I was in the master bedroom, you hurried downstairs and turned off the electricity, got the rope from the open cupboard, and throttled Yvette. You were jealous that your husband was stripping Yvette. That's why you killed him, too.
Yes. Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette. I hated her so much. It flames on the side of my face, breathing, heaving breaths.
But while we were in the billiard room, Miss Scarlet seized the opportunity and under cover of darkness got to the library where she hit the cop whom she'd been bribing on the head with a lead pipe. True or false?
True. Who are you? Harry Mason.
So it must have been Mr. Green who shot the Singing Telegram.
I didn't do it.
Well, there's nobody else left.
But I didn't do it. The gun is missing. Whoever's got the gun shot the girl.
I shot her.
You! So it was you. I was going to expose you.
I know. So I choose to expose myself. Please, there are ladies present. You thought somebody was dead, but why? None of you even met until tonight.
You're Mr. Boddy.
Wait a minute. So who did I kill?
My butler. Oh, shucks. He was expendable, like all of you. I'm grateful to you all for disposing of my network of spies and informers. Saved me a lot of trouble. Now there's no evidence against me.
This all has nothing to do with my disappearing nuclear physicist husband or Colonel Mustard's work with the new top-secret fusion bomb.
No. Communism was just a red herring.
But the police will be here any minute. You'll never get away with this, any of you.
Why should the police come? Nobody's called them.
You mean, oh my God, of course.
So why shouldn't we get away with it? We'll stack the bodies in the cellar, lock it, leave quietly one at a time, and forget that any of this ever happened.
And you'll just go on blackmailing us all.
Of course. Why not?
Well, I'll tell you why not.
Good shot.
Typical Green, flashing his piece at the right time.
Very good.
Are you a cop?
No, I'm a plant.
A plant? I thought men like you were usually called a fruit.
Very funny. FBI. That phone call from J. Edgar Hoover was for me. I told you I didn't do it. All right, who done it.
You
Oh, that looked like you were.
They all did it. But if you want to know who killed Mr. Boddy, I did. In the hall. With the revolver. Okay, Chief, take him away. I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Can you hear me?
I can.
All right. Did everybody enjoy the show? Hello, all right. Okay. For second place, the winner, the ticket, 7533338. Me. Someone won? Over here. You have a winner?